Hey everyone, welcome to MCAT Max. Today we're going to be looking at a psychology slash sociology passage uh, from the MCAT. And today we're going to be using some Jack Weston questions to do some practice. This passage shouldn't be too tough for everyone. It's kind of a nice warm up for Psych Soc. So let's look at it. So, first sentence it says, with respect to stressors, researchers highlight the importance of life events. But attention is also assigned to analysis of social roles. So what does that say in there? What it's saying is that when we look at stress, we tend to focus on life events. But life events aren't the only thing that impact stress. Social roles also impact stress. Okay? So they told us that social roles can be long term, usually. Okay? And because their social roles are long term, they can produce sustained periods of stress. So remember, we're looking at both social roles and life events. So life events can be short or long term, and they can either create long stress or short stress. So long life events or create long stress. And then the stress from life events can be amplified, so it can be made bigger based on your social roles. Okay. So then they give us an example here. If you lose your job, you're obviously going to be stressed, but your stress can be enhanced, aka amplified, if you have the social role of being a parent, your parental responsibilities. Okay? So, main theme of the first paragraph is both life events and social roles affect stress. You can have stress from life events, and it can be amplified by your social role. Okay? Second paragraph, it tells us that people construct and attach the perceived importance of their roles, okay, and their activities, okay. So what it's basically saying is that people attach importance to their roles. Um, it happens at a young age, and people are socialized to devote themselves to institutional roles that contribute to society's maintenance. So basically, what it's saying is that we are taught by society to kind of like devote ourselves to roles that help society like function, right? And because we're so attached to our roles and we've been taught how important they are, it's hard for us um, to remain apathetic to stress from the roles, right? So that's why social roles can cause stress, because we attach so much importance to them, and we're taught from a young age to devote ourselves to these roles. Okay. Um, and then it goes on to talk about occupational roles. In occupational roles, the consequences of arrangement, values, and social status. So the consequences for how an arrangement is within an organization uh, are revealed through how people are affected by their jobs. That's kind of a convoluted sentence, but we can. So basically, what it's saying is that based on how people are affected by their jobs, that tells you about the consequences of how the arrangement of their job and social status. So let's look at an example. They give us an example of a case study of business owners. So if a business owner inherited their business, they have more role strain. If they started their own business, they have less role strain. Okay, so the consequences of inheriting your business are revealed through the role strain, right? So the consequences of arrangement are revealed through how people are affected by their jobs. So because you inherited your business, your job is going to affect you and cause more role strain. So that's a consequence. It's being revealed. Okay. So let's go through these questions. What describes the business owner who experiences increased role strain? He obtained an ascribed status due to financial capital. Okay. Or, so basically, it's either an ascribed status or an achieved status. So what's the difference? An ascribed status is one that uh, are you don't have any like choice into whether you get that status or not. It's kind of like ascribed onto you. It's like it's assigned to you, and you don't really have any say in it. So it's like being born into a certain ethnicity or being born a certain gender, for example. Um, uh, so you didn't achieve it. So the people who experience increased role strain, these people inherited their businesses. So they didn't actually uh, start those businesses themselves. It was kind of given to them. So it was ascribed to them. They didn't really have any control over that status of a business owner. So it's not an achieved status, because an achieved status is something that you obtain by yourself through like choice and will. For example, if you become a doctor, for example, that is achieved status because you chose to become a doctor and it was like in your control. Uh, so social capital is based on people who you know, like your social network. So, for example, the family is an example of social capital because based on the people you know, that's why you inherited the business, because you're part of that family. Financial capital is like money, assets. So, like money, property, for example. Those are all financial capital, but social capital is the correct answer in this case because it's through his connections to his family that he obtained the ascribed status of business owner. So we're going to go with B here. Which of the following would a functionalist consider to be a latent function when considering roles? So in functionalism, things have latent and manifest functions. So a latent function is a function that it's an unintended function, whereas a manifest function is a function that is an intended function. So let's look at like these choices and see whether they're unintentional or intentional. Remember, unintentional will be our latent function. Parental roles allow individuals to provide for their children. That seems like an intended function of a parental role, right? You want to intend to provide for your children, so that would not be correct. Rules allow individuals to adopt new behavioral norms. We want people to adopt new behavioral norms, right, when they have rules, so that is an intended function. Rules allow individuals to contribute to the maintenance of society. We want rules to help people contribute to the maintenance of society, so that is intentional. So that's manifest, it's not latent. And rules may cause individuals to experience increased stress. So that is an unintended function of a role. So that is a latent function. It's likely that the business owners differ in terms of. All right. So prefrontal cortex activation. Prefrontal cortex activation, that's going to be more in cognition. Temporal lobe activation. Your temporal lobe is more like hearing. Enteric is part of the autonomic nerve system, and it's like in your digestive tract. Cortisol levels. Cortisol levels are stress hormones. So this is pretty easy. If the business owners differ in their role strain, more role strain is more stress. So they differ in their levels of stress. So they therefore differ in their cortisol levels. So cortisol is a stress hormone. Okay? You just need to know that for the MCAT. According to the passage, taking on a social role creates what type of stress? Okay. Taking on a social role, let's see, what does it say about social roles? It says social roles are typically long-term commitments, which can produce sustained periods of stress. Sustained periods of stress, that seems like a long stress. So acute stress is short-term stress. Chronic stress is long-term stress. Benign and malignant, those aren't the proper terms. Malignant means like cancerous, benign is not cancerous. The correct answer is chronic because it produces long-term, sustained periods of stress. So chronic is the correct answer. And what term describes a parent who is struggling after having a child due to a lack of sufficient sleep, constantly worrying about the newborn, and worry due to increased financial responsibilities due to having another member of the family? So this person is experiencing strain due to the multiple responsibilities. So they have to worry about their child getting sleep. Oh my God. They have to worry about their child getting sleep. They have to worry about the newborn. And they have to worry about financial responsibilities due to having another member of the family. So these are all responsibilities within the role of parent. When you have responsibilities that are clashing within a single role, that is called role strain. So the correct answer is role strain. Role conflict would actually be if you had multiple roles. So if you had a role as a parent and as like employee, and those responsibilities were conflicting. Well, here we only have one role, which is the role of a parent. Role exit is where you exit the role. They're not exiting the role as a parent, and they're not switching roles either. So that's the end of this passage, guys. Let's see how we did. Awesome, we got everything right. Great job today, guys. So we had a quick passage today. So make sure to check out the MCAT Max website, check out our social media, and also reach out to us if you're interested in individual group tutoring, which is all free. Remember, our mission here is to provide free MCAT prep to everyone. Thank you so much, and have a good day.